Great series by the Houston Astros, workmanlike, and you see the way they're celebrating. It's not the big dog pile, Wayno. It's just handshakes and hugs on to the next round. It's what they expect to do in the postseason. They expected to get to the ALCS the last 5 years. Here they are again, and the Red Sox are in for a tough battle against Dusty Baker's Astros.
I think expect was a great word that you just used right there. These guys expected to come in here and win. They got the job done. Everybody had a role to play. Everybody was a hero on given moments. And it's a total team win for them. They should be proud.
Second season for Dusty Baker. And a second straight ALCS under his watch. And José Altuve with the exclamation point of this one today, down to Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Adam. José Altuve, 5 straight LCS trips for the Houston Astros. Only the 3rd franchise to do it. It's one thing to get to October. It's another to get through October. What is it about the Houston Astros playing this well in October?
You know, I think the good chemistry, and obviously some of the guys have good experience. You know, we've been here for 5 times, and, you know, we just try to pass it to the guys that are getting here the first time. We play as a team. We're a really good team. Like I said earlier in the series, we don't try to be heroes. We're just trying to win games.
Jose, this season you've heard from fans now in the stands this year, reminders of what happened in 2017, but there was an opponent who mentioned it, Ryan Tepera, the White Sox pitcher. What effect did that have on your club going into today's game?
You know, we show up today. We're playing a really good team, first of all. You know, they can hit and they can pitch. They can pitch really good. And, you know, no matter what happened, we show up today to win the game. You know, we didn't want to go back to Houston and play a game 5 against them because they're really good, you know, and I like the way they're playing. And like I said, we show up today, try to win the game, and I'm really happy and thanks God we won today.
And Jose, now you get a rematch with the Boston Red Sox from the 2018 LCS, and you also get to see your former bench coach, Alex Correa. Tell me about what you expect from the ALCS and the Boston Red Sox.
It's going to be a really good series. Obviously, they're a really good team. They just beat the Tampa Bay Rays, which they won 100 games. The Red Sox, they can hit, they can pitch, play good defense. They know how to play the game. They've been in playoff before, too, so it's going to be fun.
Congratulations. We'll see you in the ALCS.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Tom Verducci, a fabulous job as always. We appreciate all your work. A wonderful job by my booth mates here, A.J. Przinsky and Adam Wainwright, the World Series champions. Mitch Smith was our statistician. A wonderful job next to me as well. Altuve and Correa, the tandem that has been together for 60-plus playoff games and has seen a lot of success. They are moving on to a 5th consecutive American League Championship Series. For Wayno, AJ, Tom, the wonderful women and men of our crew, Adam Amin, a privilege to be here as always. To Los Angeles and Kevin Burkhardt.
All right, Adam, great job. Fun listening during the series, and the Astros moving on. ALDS postgame show on FS1. Brought to you by Credible. Come on in and join our crew. That's right, Big Hurt Hall of Famer Frank Thomas. Frank is not in a good mood right now. Big Papi David Ortiz.
He's a karate man, Kevin.
Yeah.
Right in the inside.
Didn't work out. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez is here. And the Astros do it again, Al. I mean, 5 straight years to the ALCS. Only the 3rd team in history to do it. I mean, it's a real accomplishment here.
I mean, they're the total package. I mean, they've been through so much. There's a 5 ALCS in a row. And at the end of the day, they're like a great poker player. Papi, you name the game, they'll play you, and they'll beat you at your game. Today they did it with stolen bases, and Altuve setting the tone. First pitch of the game, rips a double. In his last at-bat, first pitch, 3-run Jimmy Jacks of Hendricks, total package.
Like we said before, you know, this team, this Houston Astros team, has so many ways to hurt you, you know, and having that day off yesterday, I would say it helped them so much because you can see how their bullpen stabilized the White Sox offense, and at the same time, you see how their offense attacked. 10 runs scored tonight just to finish them up and go to the next series.
Basically, it just didn't play well. Chicago didn't, and we got a team that can swing the bat like this, a team that can pitch like this, and you don't play well on this do-or-die game. This is what happened. You go home with a 10-1 loss. This was a bad loss. especially for a team that's won so many ball games this year that has this much talent.
Yeah, you know, you said this the other day. You said, you know, White Sox, they score a lot of runs. Next day, sometimes a tough day. And
yes,
it kind of felt like they would show up. I know McCullers has dominated them, but that was a little surprising on there.
I was very surprised because they had the day off. You know, normally the next day they do that, but today it just seemed like they didn't have it. Besides Gavin Sheets, he looked normal. The rest of the guys looked like they were uninterested at the plate. I don't know. Maybe they were just stressed, and you know, it happens. You know, I've been in the playoffs, and it happens. You try to do too much, you get nothing accomplished, and that's what probably happened to those guys.
I think Houston's offense just stresses you. I mean, it's the bottom line. They're the best offense of the game in a lot of different areas. You've talked all week how all they do is make contact. It's not just about home runs with them. I mean, they're just a machine. You know, if you hold them down for one game, it's a miracle, let alone 2 games in a row.
Kevin, you're exactly right. And the bottom line is this. I mean, break it down to when we all played Little League. Kevin, you play Little League, right? We all play Little League. And it's simple.
That was the extent of my skills, by the way.
No, but the bottom line is, in Little League, the team that wins is the one that strikes them out, and you don't strike out. And that's exactly what the Astros do. They have the ability, with great pitching, to strike you out, and no matter what, they don't strike out. They had an anomaly in Game 3. They struck out 16 times, but on average, to strike out 6 to 7 times a game is incredible, and you see these stressful at-bats. It reminds me of the old Yankees and the Red Sox, where it's just these 4.5-hour games because there's no chasing.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. I think that's what the next series is going to be, too, with 2 terrific offenses with the Red Sox and the Astros. Of course, in the middle of it all for Houston, once again, their shortstop, Carlos Correa. Tom Verducci standing by with him.
Thanks. Carlos Correa, 2017, 18, 19, 20, and now 21. 5 straight LCS appearances for the Astros. What is it about how this team plays baseball to make that possible?
That sounds special, man. Thank you. That's great. 5 in a row. I'm proud of the group of guys here, man. From the moment we show up to spring training, we set goals, and obviously that's winning a championship, but it's easier said than done. You got to work for it, and every single day, you know, we wake up and we work as a team, and we try to get better every single day. We hold each other one accountable, and you see the results, man. Everybody here in this clubhouse is great teammate, great player, and we're here, man. 5 in a row, baby.
A long time ago, the Astros actually trailed in Game 4 until your 2-strike hit. Tell me about that at-bat.
It was one of those at-bats that, you know, watching the game, I saw how he was striking people out with the fastball up, and, you know, he was yelling and banging his chest. So I was like, I'm 0-2 right now, bases loaded, they crowd on their feet. He wants to blow a fastball by me right here so he can bang his chest once again. So I was all over the fastball. I was trying to get on top of it, and he threw it, and I capitalized on it. I was ready for it.
So, Carlos, this year you've heard from the fans in the stands reminders of 2017. During this series, you heard it from Ryan Tepera, an opponent. Did his words referring to the sign-stealing scandal have an influence on this team?
Disrespectful words with no facts, with nothing to say. We scored 6 runs at home. Then we scored, like 9, and then we scored 6 again here. They just happened to score 12. And then you look at our OPS on the road, what's the best in all the big leagues throughout a 162-game season, which we play 81 on the road. Their OPS was a lot higher at home than it was on the road. So, you know, just another kid that needs to know the facts, or, you know, what else needs to do.
LCS, a rematch of 2018. Also a reunion with Alex Correa, your former bench coach. Tell me about that series. 2 of the top 4 offenses in baseball.
It's a great series, great team. Nobody had them getting to this point, and they battle their way here. They play great baseball against a team like Tampa Bay. To beat them is really tough, and they did it in 4 games. So we got our hands full with this team, so we got to go out there and take care of business, play clean baseball.
Congratulations. We'll see you again in the ALCS.
Appreciate you.
Back to you.
Boy, Carlos is really, he's got it all. I mean, he had all the numbers ready. You think that didn't motivate him?
Full package.
I mean, Carlos Correa is one of the greatest postseason hitters of all time. Let's face it, okay? I mean, look at the most RBIs, 29 RBIs. And, you know, Frank, I go back to that at-bat. I know it only made it 2-1, but I thought what he said there was so interesting. Rodon came out, gave them life. He was throwing hard, throwing 99, 100, right? And then he throws 2 fastballs by Correa. And then Correa just said to Tom, I felt like he wanted to pound his chest again one more time. I mean, to turn around 99 and rip it, I mean, that was an unbelievable. I felt like that took the life out of the White Sox a little bit.
Well, that's the difference. Those guys were motivated today to win against the Sox and what happened yesterday.
We got to admit that the White Sox were playing their daddy today, without a doubt. You amped up, they amped up. This is one of the few things, if it's not the only one, that you try to match them and they match you back. You know, they have left-handed batter who you bring a left-handed to face them, boom, they hurt you. You bring the right-hander to match your right-handed batter, boom, they hurt you. That's why they have been consistently back-to-back in the playoff at this level.
Kevin, the thing that I'm most impressed with, the combination of experience and youth is lethal. If you look at their core, Bregman, 27, Tucker, 24, Alvarez, 24, McCullers, 27, Altuve, the old man, 31. And then let's talk about Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa, there's an incredible group of shortstops. I believe that by far he's the #1 guy. Fellas, I'm going to tell you something. He's a free agent, 27, all this experience, postseason great. You better back up the truck. He may be the first $400 million player.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This Astros team, I mean, 5 straight LCS. By the way, we're going to show you the champagne in the clubhouse in just a little bit when that gets going, so we will check it out. I think they love being the villain, Poppy. I think that, you know, the whole thing, obviously, they've embraced it. I think they like being booed on the road. I mean, you heard Correa there. You know, you guys talked about Istapera. Those were bulletin board words for the Astros. He just said it, right? I think they like the role.
Kevin, I'll tell you what. If anybody continue mention what they went through before, it's just going to make them better.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, because that's how baseball players are. We play this game for a long time. And when you have the talent that they have, yes, they make that mistake and they know that they did. And everybody know, but they move on. Now they playing with their talent. They doing what they do at their best. You say it all. The older guy in there is one of their best players. Altuve is 31. And by the way, 31 little guy is like 55 in tall guys.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Poppy, let me ask you something, Frank.
Yep.
Dusty Baker. I mean, a guy that we haven't spoken enough about. A guy that came in, he was a perfect captain of a very rocky ship. And by the way, they threw him into a very volatile situation. He made it look easy. He took adversity, and they came closer together. They've won together. But you can't say enough about Dusty Baker.
Dusty's always been an ultimate player manager. He's won everywhere he's gone. I'm happy for Dusty Baker. That's one of those things that, you know, it's bittersweet for me that the White Sox lost, but I'm happy for Dusty Baker to take that situation, go in there and find himself right there. ALCS. So you got to tip your hat to Dusty Baker. He's a winner. He's always been a winner, and he continues to win. But you can continue to talk about this team forever. This is a special Houston Astros team. They've been through it all, and they're still together without George Springer, and they're still in the ALCS.
By the way, no Garrett Cole, no Verlander.
Look like you haven't popped one in a minute.
It's been a while.
Hell, he ain't young no more.
Poppy, he needs some help. Get in there.
Correa, somebody help,
Dusty. Pop it.
He's like that might be. You got to get that. You might have to saw that one off there.
There you go.
So Dusty gets to pop the champagne. You know, think about it, he's one of the greatest managers of all time. He's only been past the LDS 4 times. I think the World Series championship for him, you know, as a manager, the holy grail of his unbelievable career. And I think you guys talked about it, you know, after all the controversy, A.J. Hinch gets let go. They bring in Dusty Baker last year. Volatile situation, not many human beings would have been able to handle it. He got them back to the ALCS and the COVID. So he comes into that COVID year, gets into the ALCS, 1 game away from the World Series, and now this. I know they've got a lot of talent, but Alex, that man is a heck of a manager, and I have not ever heard one bad thing spoken about Dusty Baker.
Dusty's the best. I know that, you know, the 2 guys to my left here, role model for all 3 of us, someone that we've looked up for a very long time. Again, a man of color doing it is also pretty darn cool. And, you know, he was doing it when things were pretty rough. And as a player, as a coach, as a manager, he has everybody's respect. And I think he's the perfect guy to come into a very rocky storm, and he's done beautifully.
I think I'm gonna put Dustin Baker at the same level where Alex Correa is at. He walked into town to deal with so many different things that he had no clue about, and then he regrouped everybody, embraced everybody, make sure that everybody's focused on just playing the game. Let me deal with all the crap, and you guys go ahead and play the game. And I'm telling you, I have seen so many highlights of Dustin just having his players back that it just made me feel like I want to go back and play for a manager like him. What do you think, Frank?
He said over and over. He's ultimate team manager, player manager. He's loose. He let guys be men, and he's always been able to do that. He's led men perfectly. He understands the long grind. He let guys be themselves, and they continue to win. But there's nothing like experience when you get to the playoff. Dusty's had a lot of experience. His team has had tremendous amount of experience. So I'm not surprised at the result because of the team they are in October. I was worried about the young Chicago White Sox team playing this team in the first round because of their experience. They showed once again they're up for the task.
Is it me, or is this celebration like a little docile? I mean, compared to what the Red Sox we saw last night, I mean, they went nuts.
What's that mean, Kevin?
This is kind of a little calm. Maybe they need you. Means calm, Poppy. Means calm.
We know how to celebrate New England. I think there's a little short over there.
But it's almost like they're expecting more. I mean, right? I mean, as you look at Lance McCullers right there, Alex, you talked about this core, right? And yeah, they do have some young guys, certainly, that have really contributed. We've seen Kyle Tucker grow into one of the greats in the game, but Altuve, Correa, Bregman. But what they don't have is Verlander and Cole. Now, they didn't have Cole last year. This year, they don't have both of them. So you're wondering, okay, who's going to be the guy? As Lance McCullers answered that question, to be the unquestioned ace here in these playoffs?
Absolutely. And look, he's only 27, but he has the experience, and he's been great in the World Series. And, Poppy's been talking for the last few days about the power of experience in October. And again, the combination of being young, sub-27, with World Series experience and a ring, it's something that is hard to duplicate.
That's what made them so dangerous, Kevin.
Yeah.
Their playoff experience. I'm telling you right now, people get tight, players get tight, fans get tight, everybody get tight in the playoff. But being able to share experience and just being able to go back to what they normally use. I mean, they are so used to being in October playing baseball more than anybody in the league right now.
Yeah.
So that helped somehow, some way. They know how to manage themselves when this time shows up. Same as the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been in the playoffs so many times that they know how to put up with. So this is going to be a really good series, I guess.
It's going to be a great series when you look at both these teams. They're not as dominant as they've been in the past, start pitching and bullpen, but they kind of mirror each other. So this is going to be an exciting series. A lot of experience on both sides. I really can't wait to watch the series.
I think it's a fascinating storyline for Alex Cora and the Red Sox to go back to Houston. They've played each other before, of course, on the way to the Red Sox 2018 championship. Red Sox took down Houston in 5 games. But you think about it, Alex obviously went to Boston, won a World Series after leaving Houston the year before when he was the bench coach for A.J. Hinch. And now he goes back there after being out of baseball for a year, goes back, takes a team against a team where he still knows everybody really, really well. He knows every one of their tendencies. I'm fascinated by that storyline of Cora going back to play the Astros now after everything that's unfolded.
I was just thinking before, a couple of days ago, I was just thinking, wait a minute, Houston win again, they beat the White Sox, they got to go and fight against Boston, the Red Sox. But then I went back and I was like, the factor in between these two things is Alex Cora, because he know how to handle a business against Houston. He know how they pitch, how they play defense. He know all the type of stuff. And I think a couple of years back when they beat him, that's exactly what went down.
Is Dusty going to say something?
Uh-oh. Well, he finally popped it.
I think Dusty's just trying to catch his breath. He got a lot of champagne on him.
It's the lips. What is it? It's the lips.
That's
They're
great.
so good.
He's just enjoying himself, as he should. I mean, you see the respect from the players.
They love it, man.
I love what you said, Frank. He lets them be men, right?
Yes, of course. He's one of the best that ever do that. I've heard from many, many guys about Dusty Baker. You can't play with Dusty Baker, you can't play for anybody.
Hey, Frank, I met him when I was 16 years old, and I went to visit the Giants when they played the Marlins. And I just remember how cool this cat was. He had 2 wristbands on, he had batting gloves, he had the toothpick, and he's going to take that one day to the Hall of Fame. But he treats everybody so good. And what I thought was great, when he played other players, players came to see the manager. You don't see that often. Players go see players. In this case, player goes see Dusty. That's how cool he is.
I feel like, Poppy, you started to touch on it, but Alex, I'll ask you. I feel like, looking ahead to the matchup now in the ALCS, which will start on Fox on Friday, I feel like these two teams are a lot alike. And when you look at them and what they can do, I mean, you can have some high-scoring games in this series.
I think you have an incredible, epic heavyweight battle. You went to a heavyweight battle just last Saturday in Vegas, Poppy. This is going to be another one. And here's why. They both have one thing in common. Youth and experience. And I mean World Series experience. If you think about Kike, Schwarber, Devers, Bogart, the same can be said for Houston. So there's going to be no overwhelming. And to Poppy's point, Alex Cora knows all the tricks. They know all the tricks. There's going to be no nonsense, no bulletin board. It's going to be straight up hard baseball. And I cannot wait for Friday night.
I totally agree with you, Wayra. I cannot wait. Because they're similar teams. You know, I would say the difference between the two of them, it might be Ubaldi and Alex Cora, who used to be part of them. You know what I'm saying? But their bullpen is similar. Offensively, they are pretty much the same team. They have so many, both sides have so many ways to hurt you. And at the end of the day, they battle through it to be where they are right now. So I can wait.
I think the X factor, or could be one of the X factors, is talked about Evaldi. We know McCullers, even though he's not going to start the first game because he just pitched today. And then there's going to be some bullpen pieces. But, Frank, how will Chris Sale respond in this series, right? I mean, because he only had 1 inning in the win against the Rays in 4 games, and Boston didn't need him.
I think Chris Sale will be just fine.
Okay.
You know, he's one of those guys that he loves to battle, especially in the limelight here. He'll be ready for the big stage. He's not going to have that great velocity, but he'll pitch just well. He throws the ball 94. He's got to stay on the corners and work his magic. I just think it's going to be a high-scoring series, to be honest, because their bullpens, both teams' bullpens are not that great this time around, but they got a chance. Whoever's going to be able to stop the other, who's going to pitch the best, is going to win this series.
Chris Sale, I believe, is going to be great if he makes one adjustment. And instead of just watching him a little bit, and I love Chris Sale, I think he's one of the big-time pitchers. When you are hurt, Poppy, the fastball and the slider gets affected the most, but a lot of times the slider, because you can't spin it as tight. And when you don't spin it as tight, as a hitter, you see it better. You see that spin more like a quarter rather than a dime. What I would do if I was Chris Sale, I would go more into fastball changeup, because the changeup off the fastball, A, would accelerate the fastball, and B, when you throw the slider, now you have 3 dimensions going at the hitter. And I don't think he's been using his changeup enough. So fastballs up, changers low and away, and sliders backdooring at the back foot. That would be the adjustment. If he makes that changeup adjustment, I think he can be a big factor.
Well, we've got a couple days to talk all about it, and right now you just celebrate the Astros for being a juggernaut, right? Most consecutive seasons reaching the LCS in either league. Of course, the Braves, 8 years in a row, which is unbelievable. The Astros did it 5 years in a row. That's it. Houston, the 3rd team to ever do it, and they're trying for their 2nd World Series title in that mix. And just remember, they came to Game 7 with another World Series for the Nationals, beat him with Howie Kendrick and Strasburg and those guys. So this Houston team is special. They're on a mission and back in the LCS against Poppy's Red Sox. Should be fun.
Definitely, definitely. But you know what, though? I'm thinking about Houston Astros, what they had done. I go back to my time when I played, and I remember I used to come to this town, Frank, and I'm pretty sure you guys went through it. And it was like baseball was absolutely dead out there. It was nobody coming to the stadium. Even they built a new stadium, it was nobody coming in. It wasn't enjoyable. I'm very proud and happy of this organization, what they had accomplished the past 5-6 years, because it's hard to do it. It's hard to put together a team coming from the farm. Pretty much all of them players are from the farm, you know, and being able to do that put that together, what they have put together, it's unbelievable. That's incredible. People had no idea sometimes how hard it is to get there.
And Jeff Luhnow,
Yeah.
Jeff Luhnow deserves a lot of credit. He's no longer there, but he did a great job, putting this thing together.
Well, now they got a new GM and they got a new manager and same results right now.
Yeah.